Hello there, everyone. It's Patricia Hayes here, and I'm super excited to be here with today's Coffee Time Career Chat. For those of you who are joining for the very first time, I am an executive advisor, empowerment coach, and authentic networking strategist. And what that means is I love helping professionals, entrepreneurs, and business executives to transition in their careers and their lives in a way that's much more empowered than many of us actually do, to up level their executive presence and to make sure that they know how to leverage their networks in a professional and authentic way that's supportive, that is aligned with your values and the purpose that you wish to move forward with. So that said, we are starting with a new topic or new theme and new topic. So a new theme for the next few weeks, which is we're going to be talking about supporting your leadership growth. Very important. And I'm always surprised with the tons of things that are out there for people about how little people actually do this, how they don't do this in an active fashion. And so we're going to be talking about that and some of the things that are obstacles and some of the things that need to be done in order to help you along the way. And today, in particular, we are going to be talking about seeking growth actively, not passively. When I first started thinking about how we were going to talk about this issue, I was just like, where do we start? And this is really the first thing that popped off for me because I'm just always dumbfounded by people who are taking this mindset or taking this position that they have to wait to receive what's given to them as opposed to taking some action towards making the thing happen for themselves. Now, is there a time and a place where you do need to sit back and wait for something to happen? Sure, there is. But most of the time, it is not what we should be doing all of the time. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Here's my first thing that comes to me when we're talking about seeking your leadership growth, your professional growth in an active fashion versus in a passive one. And that is you must learn to be your own advocate. Now, if you missed that, we had a whole conversation about advocacy last month. So I invite you to go back and check out the September coffee chats because the entire series was about self-advocacy and advocating for others. But in this context, what I'm talking about is if you really want to grow and you want to get to the next level of whatever it is that you're seeking to accomplish, you got to be able to speak up for yourself. And that means you have to take the action, you have to take the step. You cannot wait to be invited to say something in on your own behalf because guess what, it will never happen. I'm just telling you what I know, not what I'm guessing. Okay. So a lot of times we're not, people are not trained to do that. They don't have the confidence. And again, go check out last month's series where we talk a little bit more about that in depth, or hit me up in the DMs. But the reality is having that self-awareness to at least acknowledge that, you know what, I have to speak up on my own behalf because guess what, no one else is going to do it. I mean, it's the truth. So when we say that, then getting the support you need around that. Okay. This is not the time to get shy or to make excuses, because if you are truly looking for towards your own growth, then you have to be able to speak up on what that may look like. So for example, one of the stories that I think I've told here before, but it's effective and it's on point, is when I was a baby lawyer at my first job. I was traveling all over the state, right? And I was like, doing things, and there were two things that happened. One was I was traveling around the state, and it was late at night on dark roads, and the guys, the male lawyers who were older than me, they were used to doing this, and they would jump in the car and drive back that night. And I was like, I am not doing that. like the first time I ever had to do that, when I got back, I had to go to my boss and say, I am not comfortable doing this. I am a Black female driving through East Texas late at night. Not comfortable at all. And honestly, it was just like, oh my gosh, because it just never even occurred to them. Because again, it was a different set of people who were doing it historically. So, by my speaking up for that, I then was added the budget to be able to, if I got out of the hearing late, that I could find a hotel to stay in and stay the night, feel safe, and get up in the morning and come back. Okay. That's one story. The second one is similarly situated where I was going to professional development, but because I was the baby lawyer, my um, my budget was less than the experienced lawyers. So now I get it. It was the mindset of as you grow, as you stick it out, it's kind of an incentive, right? You stick around, you get a larger budget, you get to go to the bigger events, the nicer events, whatever. Okay. But here is the thing that I advocated for, and that my bosses again said that makes sense, which is I was like, hey, guess what? I'm the baby lawyer. I'm the newbie here. Like, if anybody needs a whole lot of professional development, it's me. I'm the one with the most to learn. And when I approached that and gave that to them in that fashion, they agreed and increased my budget for professional development so that I could go get the CLE that I needed. That's continuing legal education that I needed in order to up level my development and my learning capacity faster. Okay. But it didn't happen because they just decided to make it happen. No, I had to make someone aware and go make the ask. Okay. So this is one of those things where being your own advocate is very crucial. And I highly suggest and ask that you take some time to take a look at it, and where are you not being a strong advocate for yourself, and then lay out one, two, three things that you could do right now today in order to be a better advocate for yourself, in an active fashion, not a passive one. Okay. The second point is one that we've already hinted at, which is you have got to stop waiting for someone else to invite you in, right? Stop waiting for someone else to recognize your genius and say, hey, oh my gosh, you need to do this, or we need to throw more money at you to grow this way, or to provide this opportunity. Does that happen on occasion? Absolutely. Does it happen most of the time? Absolutely not. This is where you have to come to the reality that if you really want to grow professionally as a leader, that action on your part, initiation on your part, is what's going to be required. The passive route does not necessarily get you to where you need to be, and it certainly doesn't get you where you need to be in a timely manner. Okay. So if you have time constraints on your goals, then you need to reconsider this activity, or lack thereof, should I say, of waiting for someone else to do it for you, to take the lead for you, to direct you in the way that you need to go. If we have great mentors or sponsors, that's fantastic. But again, you can't just wait for them to do everything for you. All right. It's really disturbing to me because it's a lot of this entitlement mindset. And people have really been slamming millennials about this piece, but I've been watching. And when I'm looking at what I'm doing on a daily basis, it is not just millennials that have this false sense of entitlement that someone should do something to help them get to where they need to be next. Right. I will be honest, pot calling the kettle black. Like, I've had some of those moments and I've had to rein them in, which is number one, just because you have 20, 30 years in the business Yes, there are some things that you would expect might happen, but it doesn't always ring true because there are so many more people in the marketplace right now. There are so many more people vying for the space, for the attention, all of that. So you can't just sit back and wait for someone to say, "Oh my gosh, you're wonderful. Let's make all of these great things happen for you." Okay. You have to be more active in the process, right? And to make sure that you're addressing that sense of entitlement and see, is this realistic or not? Is this a false sense of entitlement? And what do you need to do as far as some self reflection to address that, to shift your mindset so that you can be more engaged actively in your own growth? That's really what we're talking about you engaging actively in your own growth. You guys know I love to take a great note right here and there, right? So do that. Write it down. Engage more actively in your own growth. And that will help you to get to where you need to be uh, in a healthier fashion and in a faster fashion. All right. The third point that we will make and move on, this is going to be a quickie, is you have to ask yourself a question. And the question is, what do you really want? Because the reality is, no one else can answer that question but you. There are others can help weigh in and help provide support and give you direction, but that's only after you answer that question and give that information, share it with others. If you don't ask yourself that question and if you are not prepared to share it, then you're stunting your own growth. And is that really what you want? Do you really want to be stunting your own growth? And I don't think that's what most people are really trying to do. But when you don't ask yourself that question and you don't share it, then yes, that's what's happened. So answer the question, what is it that you really want? And then be willing to share. And when you share, I mean, act on it daily, right? Take one step daily in order to bring that to fruition. So it could be something as simple as I'm making lists of activities that I need to engage in over the course of the next month to make that action or to make that goal realistic. Here are phone calls I need to make. Here's some reflection time I need to take. It's not always about going out and doing something. Sometimes it's about the internal work that we need to do in order to make sure that we can get to where we need to be and where we can address the goals that we have for our own professional and leadership growth. Okay? That's what I have for you today. I hope that that really settles in with you. I'm going to probably expound on it with some 2-minute tips. I love doing those as well. If you need some help in really kind of setting in and exploring that in a deeper fashion, feel free to reach out to me, hit me up in the DMs, or click on the calendar link in my bio, and I'm so happy to schedule time to have a conversation about how you can seek your growth in a more active fashion and not sit and wait for someone to give you something that may not come. All right. So thanks so much for sharing. I look forward to following up with you again. Have a fantastic rest of the day and week. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.